It's already been a long bye week. Which Miami Hurricanes player is going to break out when ACC play begins?
You are Locked On Canes, your daily podcast on the Miami Hurricanes. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Happy Saturday. I'm Alex Donno, your host, University of Miami alumnus, longtime South Florida sports radio vet, and contributor to allhurricanes.com. And thank you so much to the everydayers for making Locked On Canes your first listen. Avengers, assemble! We come with friends today. We got Hoodie Girl and Chalupa Batman with us. Let me go, because I was going to introduce Hoodie Girl first, but Chalupa is like, he's got so much rhythm down there throwing up at you. Chalupa Batman, how are you, sir?
I'm doing great. It's bye week, so we get to sit back and judge all these other teams today. So, bye week is great. 4-0. Florida's currently losing. I feel great. How do the rest of the Avengers feel?
Well, speaking of judging, I felt like Simon Cowell last night when I was watching Louisville and NC State, because I'm like, we can kill both of those teams, and they're both on the schedule this year. Hoodie Girl, how you doing?
I'm good. Just woke up about half an hour ago, quickly got ready, threw on a hoodie, and I'm here, our usual Saturday routine. Thankfully, it's later in the day.
Yeah, I love it. And okay, I just want to say, for as good as the Miami Hurricanes offense has been so far this year, 7th ranked offense in the country, I think they're still leaving a lot of meat on the bone. Right? Yes. Because the offense, it's been, we've only really seen the tip of the iceberg when it comes to tight ends being involved in the passing game. Blocking, they've been awesome. We're still waiting on Miami's theoretically top tight end to get healthy because Elijah Arroyo hasn't played this year. And the passing game has been excellent, but it's been very reliant on the top 3 guys with a little bit of Isaiah Horton sprinkled in, but not so much beyond the top 3 with just a little bit of Horton. So, I think that there are opportunities. There are opportunities for more playmakers to step up and have an impact after this bye week. So if we can each nominate one, and Hoodie Girl, this is the layup of all layups, okay? Which Miami Hurricane player, if you could go defense if you want to, do you think is really going to step up after this bye week?
Can I pick one on offense and one on defense?
Sure, yeah.
All right. I mean, on offense, we kind of discussed this beforehand, and Donna was like, if you don't pick who I think you're going to pick, blah, blah, blah. No, I would love to see some of our speedsters in space. Like, I'd love Tyler Harrell, obviously. Brashard Smith, I think what he's been doing on kickoff returns, I think we need to get him the ball more, and I'd love to see more of Ray. So if we can get some of our speedsters in space, I'd love to see that happening. We had obviously Ray is a true freshman, so I don't know how much he'll get involved, but I would love to see more of Tyler Harrell for sure. And on defense, I think we're going to see even more of Ruben Hurricane Bain. He's getting held like crazy. I'm hoping once we get into ACC play, maybe some of this will get called more, but he's such a monster. We've already seen it in the first 4 weeks, so I can't wait to see more of him.
What about you, Chalupa?
So on offense, I'm going to go with true freshman tight end Riley Williams. Now, I know we haven't seen the tight end room really explode yet as far as pass catching goes, but like Dono said, we've seen Cam McCormick and Riley do really, really well blocking. Like they're just an extra set of offensive tackles at this point when we put them in the formation. I think he's earned himself some routes, some play designs. And also Shannon Dawson is going to want to utilize that room. There is the talent there. Riley Williams has the size. He has the speed. He's got really good hands. And I think he's just going to become that safety blanket for TVD. And then once Arroyo gets back, you'll probably see a little bit more 2 tight end sets with them 2 as pass catchers. But I do think we reward the young freshman with a couple targets per game. He is still a matchup nightmare. I know he's young, but he is a matchup problem. So I think we see Riley.
Specimen.
Yeah,
he is. He's for his age, he has no business being that good. And then on defense, Joshua Horton at defensive tackle, we've seen him get some reps in these first few games. That young man is big. I don't really know how else to say it in a better way. He's just a huge young man. And we need the depth in the middle as well. We've seen them moving Ruben Bain around in the inside. I'm guessing, to Hoodie Girl's point, I think we're going to see him on the outside more consistently. So let's get young Joshua Horton in there in the middle so he can take some snaps off of guys like Moten and Thomas Gore and Branson Dean. And you want to develop that depth up front because you want to be able to rotate guys in and out. So I think we see Horton a little bit more.
That's well said. And I like what Hoodie Girl said about speedsters on offense. And that's why I'm going with Ray Joseph, because we're seeing him. I think the workload is just slightly increasing each week, and I think he's going to be ready to blow up at some point during ACC play. And if I'm Shannon Dawson, the best ways to keep defenses off balance, I mean, he definitely has good balance, creativity in his play calling and play design, but you're seeing what the Miami Dolphins have been doing this year in your city. If you can turn your offense into a track team, it just makes it so difficult for opponents to keep up with. And Ray Joseph, obviously for him being a true freshman, he's still just getting a little bit more comfortable and adapting to the college speed. At some point, the game is really going to slow down for him. We've already seen Ray so far this year catch, 6 passes for 36 yards. Some of those kind of look more like running plays than passing plays with those shovel passes. But I think you're going to see Ray get more involved as the season goes on. I could say similar things about Chris Johnson, although he's got so much depth in front of him at running back. I don't know how many meaningful snaps he's going to get, but find ways to get that dude on the field. And then on defense, I'm going to get a little bit more creative because the two of you did a great job with your nominees, and I completely co-sign on the names you brought up. But I'm going to throw some love to Jaden Wayne. Because I think
we all went D-line.
Yeah, and for good reason, right? Because Miami's D-line, first of all, they've required depth because you've had some injuries on the D-line. Now, even if guys start to get healthier, that's a position group where there's a lot of opportunity for rotation. And, Wayne, he's got the size, he's got the athleticism, he's got the prowess, and, he went to one of the most competitive high school football programs in the country at IMG Academy. So there's a little bit less of an adaptation for him to the speed of the game. We've seen some good stuff already in limited snaps for him. I think we're going to start seeing Wayne more throughout the year. And, when it comes to your defense, guys, Miami should beat Georgia Tech. I don't take any opponent for granted. And I will say that, Georgia Tech's defense it's as bad as you think it is, but their offense is a lot better than you realize, okay? They're number 17 in the country right now in total offense, and that includes the number 24 passing offense in the country. And Chalupa, if there's one area on defense where Miami's been, let's say, less than perfect so far, it's been in pass coverage, and Haynes King and the Yellow Jackets are off to a great start.
We talked about it a little bit after, the last couple games where it's we just want to see things tightened up really right in the secondary because there's been one or two blown coverages. Well, I'm not trying to scare anyone, but I'll just read off a few numbers. 17.9, 17.5, 26.7, 12.0. Those are averages per catch for some of these receivers at Georgia Tech. They do have an explosive offense. They do like to push the ball down the field. Gone are the old days of the triple option from the Yellow Jackets.
Right.
They've actually got a functional offense now. So this will be a game where it's really important that we're going to have Cam Kitchens back in the secondary, make sure everyone understands their assignments. These small blown coverages have not hurt us yet because we haven't really played anyone that can burn us in a situation like that, especially a quarterback. Georgia Tech has a little bit of explosivity on offense, so we want to tighten up that back end. It's not like we're making a ton of mistakes in the secondary. I'm not trying to come down on the corners or anything. There's just those one or two per game, but you can't have that. That swings the momentum, that flips field position. It does a lot of different things other than just giving up 6. So having our captain back at the back end is going to be huge because we shut down that. Their running game isn't that impressive. They've got a couple guys that tote the rock pretty good, but they've made their money off the deep ball this year. So we got to make sure we don't let them behind us play assignment football and then punch them in the mouth on the other side.
What do you think about that Georgia Tech matchup, Hoodie Girl?
I'm going to kind of build off of what Chalupa said, and I agree with that. I think we did have some blown coverages in some games, but if you look at our Texas A&M game, we didn't really have that, and that would probably be the best opponent we faced. I think guys are kind of just keeping their eyes in the backfield a little too much when we've been playing some of these like lesser opponents.
Yeah.
And I know when we played Temple, there was a couple of miscues, and I think a few of those were because of just the wet ground and us slipping. So to that point, obviously Cam being back, but I think a big part of this game is going to be our D-line and getting to the quarterback and not allowing their quarterback to have time to make those downfield throws. I think Cam being back is going to make a big difference in the coverage of our secondary, because he's like the field general, having him and James, back there at safety. But yeah, I think the biggest part is going to be our D-line getting to the quarterback. How much can our D-line wreak havoc to their offensive line and getting to King? Because I'm really not that concerned about our offense.
Yeah.
So coming up next, Tyler Van Dyke, as we've talked about on this show, is currently the top graded quarterback in the entire country, but he and his team are not getting the type of national attention you might expect after a solid 4-0 start. So honestly, what would it take for Tyler Van Dyke to win the Heisman Trophy this year? You want to keep it locked right here. We are only getting started on Locked On Canes. And guys, I am only getting started on LinkedIn. LinkedIn Jobs has you locked down and locked in, because these days every new potential hire can feel like a high stakes wager for your small business. You want to be 100% certain that you have access to the best qualified candidates available, and that's why you have to check out LinkedIn Jobs. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the right people for your team faster and for free. You add your job and the purple hashtag hiring frame to your LinkedIn profile to spread the word that you're hiring. People will see it, believe me. Then simple tools like screening questions make it easy to focus on candidates with just the right skills and experience, so you can quickly prioritize who you'd like to interview and hire. It's all why small businesses rate LinkedIn Jobs #1 in delivering quality hires versus leading competitors. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the qualified candidates you want to talk to faster. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/lockedoncollege. That's linkedin.com/lockedoncollege to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply. Thank you so much for making Locked On Canes your first listen today. We're available free wherever you get your podcasts, and available free on YouTube. Alex Donno alongside Hoodie Girl and Chalupa Batman. The Avengers assemble this Saturday. Okay, before we talk about TVD's potential Heisman candidacy, I want to throw a couple stats at you guys here, because you remember how bad Miami was last year, which was painful,
Yes.
okay? How bad the
Yes.
defense was, how completely terrible the offense was last year. Hoodie Girl, I'll start with you. Which stat is more surprising so far this year, given how bad Miami was last year? That the Miami Hurricanes have the 7th ranked total offense in the country, or that they have the 2nd ranked rushing defense right now in the country? Which of those surprises you more?
I mean, that's tough because our offense was so bad last year. I expected our run game to be better with the upgrades that we had on the offensive line. But I mean, not that I'm saying I'm surprised by TVD, because we saw flashes of this when he was under Lashley, so we knew he could do it. But the steps that our receivers have taken with Kevin Beard to be as efficient as they have been, I mean, obviously not perfect. And making some great catches. That Colby Young catch against Temple was amazing. So I'm gonna have to go with the passing. I expected our run offense to be good because of all of the upgrades to the offensive line. So TVD is definitely showing why he was so good under the right offense. And can you imagine if he decides to stay next year?
Well, yeah. For me, I'd say the defense. I know we definitely did expect the offense to be better. Coach Dawson has a better system, a more creative system, and we knew once we hired Coach Kevin Beard, we all just had that feeling that, okay, the receiver room will turn itself around. Coach KB is a heck of a receiver coach, and the way he holds receivers accountable is what leads to that development that we all like to see. But our defense being this stingy so far this year, I think that's a bit of a surprise. Our linebacker play was good last year, but I do think it left a little bit to be desired. And then the depth we had up front on the defensive line coming into this year, I don't think anyone would have said our run defense would have been this dominant. You kept hearing it before the season. Some of the transfer defensive linemen were too small. We won't be able to stuff the run up the middle because our defense. We don't have that big Vince Wilfork. We don't have Donald. How many times did you that question? When
Yeah,
is the
I feel
400-pound
silly.
guy
I
in the
feel silly
middle?
about it now. Yeah,
And it's something I kept bringing up too.
yeah,
Every time a big defensive tackle hit the portal, we were all saying we need a run stuffer.
yeah.
We had run stuffers at home and we didn't even know it. So I think that's been a pleasant surprise that the defensive line has held up against the run so good this year without an insane amount of blitzing. Guidry does like to bring pressure, but he also sometimes will just leave 4 out there and tell those 4 guys, get it done. And we've seen how bad they're being held up front. The sacks will come. But as far as just run stuffing ability, I am pleasantly surprised with what we've seen from the defense so far.
I like it. I lean slightly to being a little bit more surprised by the offense, just given that certain things we've seen, especially from Jacoby George, who's been so awesome. It's like I knew he was a pretty good player. I didn't think he would, do what he did against Texas A&M, scoring those 3 touchdowns. I mean, that was an incredible performance. I'm a little bit less surprised by Xavier Restrepo because I knew that he had this in him, and he and TVD have that connection. And Colby Young has expectedly been really, really good so far. And yeah, listen, maybe I should have seen it coming because of the way they rebuilt the offensive line and the depth in the running back room. But even in that first game against Miami, Ohio, I know a lot of Canes fans were like, I still don't know about that offense, nothing vertical. But then since that opening game, they've gone vertical left and right. So, yeah, to me, I think being the 7th ranked offense in the country probably surprises me a little bit more. Now, I just talk about and maybe this is deserved by the fact that they went 5-7 last year, but Miami's still not getting a whole lot of attention. And I know the Florida State trolls that show up in our mentions every week are like, you guys haven't played anybody. I live in my mom's basement. I watch games. You guys haven't. What are you talking? Beating Bethune-Cookman? You beat another team called Miami. What is that? Was that a rugby team? What did you beat? Let me say this, okay? The team that Miami beat, the quality win Miami does have against Texas A&M, it's funny because Texas A&M, I see getting talked about as a college football playoff contender by the national media with no mention of the team that soundly beat them a couple weeks ago. So that's what I say when I talk about Miami flying under the radar and not getting that kind of respect. And then, Tyler Van Dyke being the top graded quarterback in the country right now per Pro Football Focus, he still, isn't getting talked about understandably the way that a Caleb Williams does, or even a Michael Penix, or even a Shedeur Sanders. Like, he's not being brought up in a lot of these conversations, despite the fact that he's off to a great start. So for Tyler Van Dyke to actually be a true contender to win the Heisman Trophy. Now, he's already won the Donno Heisman. I mean, I kid. But, as far as getting that kind of national attention, I think Miami's going to have to go, 13-0, because I think the Heisman is after the conference championship game. So you'd probably have to go 13-0 and punch your ticket to the college football playoff for him to really be taken seriously. Hoodie Girl, I'll start with you. What would it take for Tyler Van Dyke, who's off to a great start, to actually be a Heisman Trophy winner this year?
I first just want to say that if this was last year, we're 3-1 at best.
Yeah.
We don't bounce back from that A&M game with the muff punt and the block punt. It's just a completely different attitude on the sideline. That A&M game was way more lopsided than the score looks. People don't give us enough credit for that A&M game and how we bounce back with the early adversity. And with their starting quarterback going down for the rest of the season, I feel like we're not going to get the credit we deserve unless Max Johnson is as good as Connor Wegman is. So there's that. Also, I'd rather run under the radar. We don't deserve the attention, especially because of last year, until we really prove it. We've done what we're supposed to do the first 4 games. We beat a ranked team. We beat, 2 G5 schools and then an FCS school. but we won in convincing fashion. And that's what we should do. That's what we should be doing. So should we get national attention for that? No, I don't think we should. We don't deserve the national attention. We're not a college football playoff contender until we prove that we are. But in order for TVD to get Heisman, consideration, he's got to show out, and we've got to win every game.
I mean, you talk about.
I think
sorry.
If we do really well this year and we go like 9-3, maybe 10-2, and he comes back next year, I think we hear his name in preseason Heisman talk.
What do you think, CB?
Before I say what he has to do to win, he should at least be in the conversation. Now, we can't get in the room. JJ McCarthy's on the list. We can't at least get in the room.
Yeah.
I think he's played enough to at least, when they put a top 10 list out, get my boy in there at 10. And he's played good enough so far this year. But to actually win it, I do agree with you guys. I think for 4,000 yards, 40 touchdowns, no more than 9 interceptions,
and you got to beat Florida State too.
And we have to.
You got to win the big game.
We need those because he doesn't have the Heisman hype. He would need Heisman moments. He would need to beat Florida State.
Yeah.
He would need to beat Clemson. He would need to beat Louisville. He would need to beat North Carolina. He would need moments more so than validation. Caleb Williams is playing for validation for his season. Every week he does what he does. They go, oh yeah, we knew. TVD has to kick open the door and then he has to be allowed to still stay in the room. He can kick open the door now, but they're just going to close it and say no. So I think he needs big moments. He needs us being down 21-3 against North Carolina, and then he puts up 404 TDs in the second half. Just because we as a team have flown under the radar, because a lot of that stuff is what have you done for me lately? And unfortunately, when it comes to us, it's not what have you done for me lately? It's what did you do last year?
Yeah.
So no matter what we do, they're going to continue to go back to last year. That's why my theme is show them who we are for this year. TVD is going to have to show them. He's not going to get handed any weekly awards or anything because they're for one person that says he's doing this, they're going to say, yeah, but he's played blah. You don't hear that for a lot of these other Heisman contenders. Again, JJ McCarthy is in the room. So I think he would have to have these moments, those photo finishes, those, Carson Palmer diving for the end zone and getting helicoptered and leading USC back with a banged up offensive line. Like, and you see, like, our brains can remember the play. He would need those just because we as a team don't have the hype. His Heisman hype would have to come from self. It would have to come from massive individual performances, and he's capable of them for sure. We've seen this offense can explode, and it can explode quickly. People keep saying we didn't put up 70 against Bethune-Cookman. If you watch that game, if Shannon Dawson wanted to continue to throw bombs, we would have put up 100.
Right.
There's no reason to. But I do think he can contend on paper. Whether or not they'll allow him in the room depends on those moments. And
I want to make something abundantly clear, and I know that both Hoodie Girl and Chalupa know this. I just want to say this on record. Tyler Van Dyke, I guarantee you he cares more about competing for an ACC championship
100%.
and I just need to put that out there.
Yeah.
I need to put
sure.
that into a universe. Because
Yeah.
You're right. He cares more about the team goals and the wins and the team, trophies you could win, like an ACC championship, which you're obviously you're tied in the loss column for the lead in the ACC right now. And potential national championship. Those are Tyler's aspirations, not Heisman. It's a fun thing for us to talk about. And when we come back, I want to ask Hoodie Girl and Chalupa same question I asked Larry Bluestein yesterday about how your expectations for Miami have changed based on the first 4 games. So you want to keep it locked right here on Locked On Canes. Oh, we're heading into another NFL Sunday. Get ready for the NFL season with incredible offers from FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets guaranteed. Plus, All customers who bet $5 will get $100 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Now is the best time to join FanDuel. The app is easy to use. You can bet on everything from spreads to player props and so much more. So visit FanDuel.com/lockedon and kick off the NFL season with an offer you won't want to miss. FanDuel, official partner of the NFL. So, friends, I gave my take on it yesterday. I asked Larry Bluestein about it. If, based on the start, because a lot of people didn't have Miami beating Texas A&M. They did it. They're 4-0. Has your win-loss prediction changed from preseason to now? Because I did pick Miami to beat Texas A&M preseason. Still, it's not really about the wins and losses. It's about how much more solid the team has looked to me. So I have upped my prediction from 8-4 to 9-3. Chalupa, I'll start with you. Has your opinion changed on the overall outlook of the year?
Mine changed by one game, I would say. So I had them losing 3 games when I did my initial prediction. I had them losing North Carolina, Clemson, Florida State. Actually, no, I take it back. I had them losing 4. North Carolina, Florida State.
Yeah, same with me.
Louisville, Clemson. I think we beat Louisville now. I'm not that I'm not worried about that game, but I would say if I had to redo my prediction now, I'd chalk that one as a win. I'd still need to see a little bit more to say I would drastically change my opinion, but I am a little bit more optimistic, obviously, because we've seen it. So I am more optimistic, and I do think I would definitely change one of those. And I got us beating Louisville and earning that first Snellenberger trophy too.
I like it. What about you, Hoodie Girl?
I had us going 7-5 preseason, but I had us beating A&M. Not necessarily because I thought we would improve, but more so because I thought A&M was still going to be terrible.
Right.
I definitely think we should win more games than 7 now, and it's not only because we've seem a lot better than we were last season, but some of the teams that we were playing where I thought those would be 50-50 games don't look as good.
Yeah.
I mean, the Louisville NC State game last night was like a snoozer.
That's set football back like 60 years.
I had it on my phone at work. I would turn it on if I was documenting or whatever, and I'm just like, what is this nonsense? So those were 2 games that I had as 50-50 games, and I'm like, I think we have a better chance at winning those than 50-50, especially Louisville's at home. So never discount being at home. So I mean, I think 8-4 is reasonable now, maybe even 9-3. If you ask me this question after the UNC game, it may change. I'll be at the Chapel Hill game. But if we can beat UNC on the road and look good doing it, this is an if. I mean, Drake May is obviously great. If we can win that game, I might change my predictions again, but I think 7-5 is a little too disrespectful at this point now. I think we're gonna be better than that now. But I mean, I'm going off of what I saw last season when I made these predictions. So I didn't have a lot of faith, and 2 brand new coordinators coming in. I mean, you can't blame me, but I like what I'm seeing so far. So I mean, I think 8-4 is the floor for us. But I think we could do better if we keep playing like we have been.
I just want to do well enough that certain Miami alumni can just take a week off from Colorado and just put on our gear for 1 week. Just take a week off.
Listen, Michael Irvin is my favorite Cane of all time. Yeah. One, because he's a Cane, but also because he was also a Cowboy, and I'm a huge Dallas Cowboys fan.
Right.
We won't talk about how my last weekend went. Between fantasy football and the Cowboys, I'm like,
same.
But so I was just like, I'm like, please just throw on a UM shirt and get on Instagram Live or something. Yeah. Just show me that you still love us. No. I know you're just hyping up your boy Dion. They play together on the Cowboys, and the 2 of them are buds. So I understand you want to go support him and do all of these things, but you're not a Buff, man. You're a Cane. So I just need some reassurance. I still love you, but I just need some reassurance.
And you summed it up so well, because I didn't some people are oh, this guy's dead to me now. I'm not crazy. No. I still love Michael Irvin. And I get it. He and Dion are really close friends. I think I think Irvin is the godfather to one of Deion's kids or multiple. Whatever the situation, I get it. They're really, really close, but just show us a little bit of love, man. That's all I'm asking for. Just show us some love the way The Rock did, because The Rock showed Colorado love, and then he started hyping up Miami recruits on Twitter. Just show us some love.
He tweeted about Armando Blunt.
Yeah.
He did.
That was
I
cool.
feel like he got the message. Just say y'all. Just say y'all.
Yeah, just
say y'all.
I love Michael Irvin, so I just need a little reassurance, man. Just have a Miami shirt or even a Miami hoodie. Throw on a Miami hoodie. Show us some love, just to reassure us. I'm totally cool with you supporting your boy Deion. You know, I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan, but you're a Cane, bro. Just to show that you're bleeding that orange and green.
I'll tell you
That's
how
all
I feel about this. Shout out to Andre Johnson. That's how I feel about it.
Best receiver in Miami history, Andre Johnson.
No, but I don't fault him for wanting to help his buddy out.
Yeah.
Just y'all,
not we,
not we, y'all. We are you, y'all.
Shout out to Vince Wilfork.
That's all I want.
Exactly.
But no, all jokes aside, he's still a Cane. You just want to see him doing
campus. Let's get those rumors.
I'm glad you brought that up, because I forgotten.
No, they're not banned from campus.
So I'm glad you brought that up, because I had meant to address that on a recent episode. So there was just some like completely unfounded internet rumor from some guy, like I don't know who Cameron is or even like what team he covers, but like some random dude on YouTube tried to start I think he follows Colorado. I think he's a Colorado guy. He tried to start this rumor where he's like, oh, and Michael Irvin and Warren Sapp have been banned from Miami. Completely untrue. Like there's no truth to that whatsoever.
The best part is they wrote Miami University.
Yeah, that's right.
And so all the Canes fans in the comments are like, they don't want to go to Ohio anyway.
Yeah.
Fantastic. No, they're still Canes. I mean, and to the fans out there, don't give them too much nonsense. They're still Canes. At the end of the day, they're just trying to support their buddy who also kind of feels like the world's against him. So they're just they just got his back. I just would like a little bit of vocabulary adjustment. Y'all, that's all I'm asking for. But no, shout out to the playmaker though, man. We love you, and you are still a Cane. Don't forget that.
Yeah, he's easily like a top 50 receiver all time in Miami Hurricanes.
He's my favorite football player ever of all time.
Just behind Lance Leggett.
Listen, next time I come on the show, I'm wearing my Cowboys Michael Irvin jersey.
Okay. Show a little.
One of them. I have a few.
I love it. Well, we'll end it on that note. Huge thanks to Hoodie Girl. And actually, Hoodie Girl, when's the next time we're going to see you on the Buckets pod?
Oh yeah.
So our next Buckets pod's going to be Wednesday. I'm pretty sure like 90% sure that we're going to actually have a pre-record that we're going to release, because we're going to be interviewing someone that y'all aren't going to want to miss. And just with availability, we're going to pre-record that, so that may drop, and then we're going to have a show Wednesday night. I'm currently working on getting one of the best former Miami Hurricanes basketball players on the show. I'm in contact with this person. It may not be this week, but just so you know, I will be verbal diarrheaing all over Twitter when this is confirmed, because he's one of my favorite players of all time. So I am super excited. So I can't wait to announce it. It's just not confirmed yet. But Wednesday night, 7 o'clock, and there will also be a pre-record.
Awesome. I love it. And what about you, Chalupa? Because you've done an awesome job interviewing recruits, and you're part of the You Heard pod as well. When's the next time we can see you?
I'll have another video dropping Tuesday with a Cane commit that I'm recording this weekend, an offensive lineman. Not going to say any names because I don't want to jinx it.
Okay.
Vernell Brown, the 4-star receiver, high priority target for us in 2025. That one is on the channel right now. I've got
Kevin Beard shared that, which is so cool.
Coach Kevin Beard shared that. I didn't really know what to do about that information. I was just kind of like, it was really cool. He spoke glowingly of Coach Kevin Beard too, and the offense. So Chalupa Batman on YouTube, you'll find all of them, or really funny videos, and you'll have fun with that too. But you'll find all the interviews I do with recruits. You Heard pods Tuesdays and Thursdays, Locked On Canes every day, no matter if I'm on it or not.
And catches halftime shows for Canes games.
Oh yeah, halftime show. I forget things. Halftime shows.
I was just on it, so it's fresh for me.
During the season, we do Chalupa and Friends, their halftime show. Donno, next away game, I want to get you on.
Okay, let's do it.
'Cause I know you're in the booth
yeah.
during the home games.
Yeah,
Um,
that'd be perfect.
But next
Chalupa, you
away
should
game.
do Avengers Assemble halftime
Yeah,
show.
you
I
should.
just that's what just blinged.
Yeah,
Next
you
away
should.
game. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
So yeah, Chalupa Batman on YouTube. You'll find me somehow.
Well, next away game I'm going to be at, so it
Oh.
probably won't be.
We'll-
You can
we'll-
have
we'll-
Donno,
then
but
we'll-
I'll be at North Carolina. So
Gotcha.
Oh, we
I'm
shall
going to that
assemble the one
game.
after that then.
yeah.
Well, I appreciate everybody for taking time to watch and listen. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure to hit the thumbs up button, hit the like button, subscribe to our channel. If you listen to the audio version, which is awesome, take us with you wherever you go. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, the Odyssey app, Google, wherever you get your pods. And we will talk to you again next time on another episode of Locked On Canes, part of the awesome Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.